All right. Welcome back, everybody. We have been lucky enough to be renewed for a second episode. Can you believe it? I had so much fun last time with Brian Burke, and been looking forward all month to the one and only Laura Davis is here tonight on the program, ladies and gentlemen. I've been telling all my relatives and people that live out of town that have never seen you play before, you got to watch tonight's episode. You got to check out Laura Davis. So thank you for coming and doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Did you watch the episode with Brian?
Of course.
What did you think?
It was good. I thought it was good. Yeah, it was really good.
All right. Well, tonight's going to be a bit of a challenge because Brian and I could talk about music for hours and hours and hours. And you and I can too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you and I have hung out. We've been working on some recording stuff. But I know from past experience that you're not crazy about talking. You would rather be playing music.
You're right.
And I'm kind of with you on that. Although I do like talking about music. But I'm happy that you're going to play some songs for us. And I'm happy that people that usually go to see you play, because I've seen you play a lot out in public, and you really don't say much between songs. So tonight, we're going to give people a chance to get to know the real Laura Davis, which is the purpose of this show. If you didn't catch the first episode, we started doing Washington City Limits really because we got bored with all our shows being canceled. And I love to talk about music. So we're going to be featuring artists from around Eastern North Carolina that write their own songs and focusing on their original material. And you've got some of the best original songs
thank you for
around.
Saying that.
And I told Brian that too, though.
Well.
But that's why I'm having you both here. And William Seymour is going to be next month,
Yeah.
who's another one that's just got amazing original songs.
He's good.
So for people that don't know Laura Davis, let's start at the beginning. Where are you from? You're from Eastern North Carolina, or did you move here from somewhere else?
No, I'm from Eastern North Carolina. I was born in Bethel, but I live in Williamston.
Bethel, okay, yeah. But you live on a farm, is that right?
Basically, yeah.
I've never been there before, but I'm friends with your dad also, and I've seen pictures. It looks like you have bees, and pigs, and goats. Really?
Everything you could think of.
Do you like raise your own, do you raise your own beef? And
we have. I mean, at times. I mean, like twice a year we usually do a hog skinning like that. We did that. So, yeah, and get the eggs and the garden and everything like that.
Yeah, so you got everything. You're self-sustaining, really.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. That's why the isolation stuff really hasn't scared us away.
Yeah, it hasn't really affected you that
Just
much.
Go outside and go take care of it.
But how, coming from growing up on a farm out there, how did the music thing come about? Because for people that have never heard you play before, they're getting ready to be in for a treat. You're not just the normal person that sits in their bedroom and strums a couple of chords. How did you get so into music?
Well, I mean, I've always been around music. Always. I mean.
So there's music in your family?
Oh,
Other
yes.
people play music?
Both my grandparents, on both my mama's side and daddy's side, and my daddy, he plays, and my mama, she sings, my sister sings, and they've always tried to give me different type of music. Like all the time, I've always been around music. I've never not been around music. That's all I ever.
Do you have a first musical memory of like seeing somebody play the guitar and it blowing your mind?
Well, it really wasn't seeing. My mama got a CD, an Alison Krauss Union Station CD, and it was their 2004 Lonely Runs Both Ways, and I did not want to listen to it. I fought because I was.
Why?
Were
you into music already at that point?
I was into music, but I wasn't like into music. I was just listening to it. But I was thinking, it's just going to be like the country, stuff like that. And I wasn't going to get into it. And but then we cut it on, and we cut the CD on, and that very
you told me this story before.
Yes, the very first chord. And I don't know what happened to my ears after that. And it just, what the heck is that? And it's like. So
sucked you.
Yeah, and I've not been normal since. So.
I'd say you're normal, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, when that happened, and see, I had gotten a guitar that same Christmas, ironically, and.
How old were you?
9.
When did this happen? 9.
Yeah, I started at 9, and I quit at 9 too. I was like, which I couldn't get my arm around the guitar, so I was.
Well, I think we have a crack research team here at Washington City Limits. I think we have a photo of you. Is it? Are you 9 years old in this photo?
9 there, and that was the Christmas that I got it.
But look,
morning.
Laura, I just want to say, you're 9 years old. You're already playing a bar chord.
You fake it till you make it.
Most kids, I started out with like a 2-note chord, like the fake G chord. You're already playing a bar chord, and I don't even know what that chord is.
It wasn't a chord. I just had to look good for the.
You're just trying to look. You're just trying to look
Yeah.
impressive. Well, you did it. We have another photo of you, actually. I think. How old are you here?
I was probably 11. There, that was my granddad's.
Yeah, you've
guitar.
moved on. You got your capo on there now.
Oh, yeah.
From 9 to 11, you've moved up to the capo.
Yeah.
But you were in it from I didn't start playing guitar till I was like 13 or 14.
Oh, wow.
And 9 years old, you were already going for it.
Yeah, I guess it was because I was so young, like different types of music. Because I have people come up to me and they're like, "Well, why do you learn all these chords and different genres and stuff like that?" Well, when you start so young, you don't really have that in your mind of, okay, that's a little bit different. That's just what you're around. Yeah. And so I would start playing, and like that song on Lonely Runs Both Ways, and the name of the song is Gravity. And I listened to it, and it just the guitar in it, and I had quit for 3 months. Because I just couldn't do it. I just went in it, and I couldn't get around it, and it hurt my fingers and have calluses. Yeah. I heard that, and then I drove my parents insane. And I remember we went out to eat that night, and all I could talk about was, I have got to get back to that guitar. And my daddy, we were sitting there eating, and he's like, well, Alison Krauss was playing at the Merle Fest this year and everything like that. Well, school messed that up. So we had to leave the day before her show. So I cried the whole way home. It was terrible. But,
well, see, I know from talking to you that you're a huge Alison Krauss fan.
Yeah.
That's one of you. That's your biggest influence. That's what that's the story you was telling. That's what got you into playing guitar.
Oh yeah.
And we like to start out with, before we get into the original music, we like to start out with
Covers.
Getting you to play a song of something that influenced you when you were learning how to play the guitar in your bedroom. And that's the song, you just mentioned it, I think, Gravity. I love the lyrics to this song.
I even have it on the little nameplate, the little necklace that I got for Christmas.
So that's where it all started for you.
Oh, yeah.
Alison Krauss, Gravity. Is this the first song you learned how to play on the guitar?
No, it wasn't the first song I learned, but like I said, it was that first song that just turned my head to it. It just, I don't know, it's the way that they play their songs. It's just different. It's a different approach to music. It's not the basic, it's just a whole different style, and I lost it after that. And then it was...
Well, let's kick it off tonight with Gravity by Alison Krauss. Do you mind?
Sure.
All right.
I left home when I was 17. Just grew tired of falling down. I'm sure I was told the allure of the road would be all I found. And all the answers that I started with turned out questions in the end. So years roll on by, and just like the sky, the road never ends. And the people who love me still ask me, when are you coming back to town? And I answer, quite frankly, when they stop building roads, and no guy needs his gravity to hold me And the people who love me still ask me, when are you coming back to town? And I answer, quite frankly, they stop building roads, and no God needs His gravity to hold me down. And I answer, quite frankly, well, they stop building roads, and no God needs His gravity to hold me down.
I love that song.
I love those
I love hearing
chords.
you sing. But you sound like Alison Krauss when you sing. I know I've told you that before.
Yes, yeah. Like you
But-
sound like Paul.
Stop. You stop it. But I think, it's funny you say that. I've had other people tell me that. I don't hear that, but I think it's because that's what we listen to. Like, that's how I learned how to sing, was listening to Beatles records, and that's where
You start to mimic their,
yeah, exactly. You start to mimic it, and
Yeah.
that's why you can do that so well. You know, that was your first love. That's how you learn to do it.
Oh yeah, that one's.
I love that line, quite frankly, when they stop
Gosh,
building
I love
roads.
I love the chord that they did with that. But you recognize that off of your song?
Hey, Emily?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. It's close.
Well, it's similar to it.
Well, see, that's another thing. You're very into chords,
Yes.
interesting sounding
Oh,
chords. I'm more into, I just want like a good rhythm. And I would prefer simple chords because I'm not quite as good.
Yeah.
But you love an interesting sounding chord.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you remember, was it always that way, or did that kind of progress as you learned how to play the guitar?
Well, because I play by ear, I wasn't really learning. Which I mean, I learned my basic chords, but like my granddaddy, he just when I played with my grandparents a lot, they were just kind of just very simple, straightforward songs.
Like my style.
You play better than you give yourself credit for. But they had that type of sound, and then I was listening to her stuff, and I'm like, I got the little cheat sheets thing with the tabs and stuff, and I would read them, but I'd listen to them, and I'm like, it's off some, like I couldn't.
See?
So I'd listen to it, and I'm like, that's not right. And not that I'm saying that. I mean, I'm not the best.
But you have a good ear.
Well, I try to have.
Do you
one.
read music at all?
I can't
No.
read anything.
Yeah.
But no, I listened to it and I could hear that they just played different stuff, just different. And so I kind of quit with the tabs and went straight to my ear. And so I was playing 6.5 hours a day every day.
So that's how you got this good. I mean, you would really sit and play 6.5
Yeah.
hours every day.
And then when I was going to school, I'd play in the morning, and then I'd go to school and I'd come home and then I'd play again.
See, now I can remember when I was really getting into the guitar, I would wake up in the morning and play.
Oh, yeah,
And when I came home from school, I would want to play it.
Yeah, get right up, brush your teeth, wash your face, get done, and jet for the guitar. Yeah.
But I never had the patience to sit for 6 hours and play it. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's the craft. You got to. That was me. And my thing, my parents always laugh at me about. I've always compared it like to a puzzle. And so each chord is another little piece.
Sure it is.
And nobody's going to finish the puzzle because not everybody knows everything.
No. Keith
But-
Richards has a great quote. I mean, he's almost 80 years old.
Yeah.
And he says every time he picks up the guitar, he figures out something new.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
he's
it's
been playing it every
always-
day of his life.
Yeah.
In a band that plays. And there's still new things to discover.
That's why I listen to a lot of different music because I get bored easy. I got to keep moving forward because I just like learning. I love learning just as much as I do playing.
Well, when did it transition from you were sitting in your bedroom playing to thinking, I think I want to go out and play in public in front of people?
Oh, 9.
9?
Yeah, that's my
9
first
years
show
old?
at 9. Yeah.
You had your first show at 9 years old in public? Like, not in front of your family?
No.
Like, out
No,
at
this was public at the beach.
How did that happen?
Well, every single year, and this is kind of why I wanted a guitar. Every single year, I keep looking at the floor. And if you look
Look at wherever
I
you want
just
to look.
get
I don't care where you
nervous.
look.
But no, every year we used to go to the beach for 4th of July, and everybody would play music. And like, you know how they have like little trailers down there?
Mm-hmm.
And well, they don't have that now because they have more of the houses. But they used to have like the trailer parks down there
Yeah.
and so we'd go down, and every 4th of July, on my daddy's side, we'd go down, and we would go play music, and I'd sit, and I was like, I got to figure that out. Because I can't sit still very well, so I didn't like the watching part. I wanted to be playing in it. So at Christmas time, right before Christmas, I was like, I really want to get a guitar. And my granddaddy, which is my mama's daddy, when I got my guitar, that little blue one that was in that photo, he had already tried to teach all 3 of his daughters, and all 3 of his daughters gave up. So he was like, "You're wasting your time with her. She's not going to do anything." Well, that put fire in me. I was like, "I'm going to prove you wrong." And
Well,
so
damn if you didn't.
he says that. He said, he said, "I just didn't think that you were that interested in it." But no, I was. But seriously, I was playing when I was 9, and I remember it was July 3rd, 2005, because I was getting ready to turn 10 like the next week. And so I was sitting there at the beach, and we were out, at the ocean or whatever, and they were talking about their annual July 3rd thing, because we would do that with the friends, and then the 4th we would spend with family. Well, we played music on both nights, and I remember I was so excited. I left the beach, and I went back to the camper, and I sat on top of the picnic table, and I only knew 3 or 4 chords. But I was going to fake it till I made it with everything. And so I sat there, and I got some of the song list or whatever, and started learning them. And man, that night, that was when I got bit real well with that one. Then.
But that was the night you played in public?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where was that? Just at the campground, you mean?
But it had more people than a campground. It was like the city, everybody that was celebrating 4th of July was there. But
was there a stage? Was
No,
there
they just
microphones? Were you just sitting there?
Yeah, they had the microphones and stuff. They didn't have a stage, but we were in the middle of the road and people would ride by or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's pictures.
Were you singing or were you just playing the guitar?
I played and sang. But I did more playing, but there's a lot of photos of that, of me, which I couldn't get them because they're blurry, but every one I was looking up and learning. I was like, oh, I'm going to get that.
Do you remember the crowd reaction that night? Were people like...
Well, everybody, when you're that age, I mean, you can mess up and they go, oh, it's terrific. Yeah. Well, for me, I was like, I am not going to be the one next year not knowing what these chords are. So after that, it was full on I had to get somewhere with it. And then not long after that, when I started writing, because I love to write just as much as I do sing and play.
So you started writing like
12.
12. Jeez, that is crazy.
Yeah. My mama, she's an English teacher, so it had to come in me some way with that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's so what was really cool is I would write, and so before guitar, it was like poetry, and then when you got the music, you can make it into a song.
Well, you gave me the perfect segue, because I was going to head into, when did you start writing your own original songs?
12 years old.
12 years old.
Yeah.
And so let's start at the beginning then. If we like to focus on original music here. Can you play us one of the first original? Doesn't have to be the first, but something from the beginning of the Laura Davis catalog.
Well, yes, I can, and hopefully it won't be too pitchy, because when you write it when you're about younger, your voice is a little different. And so
I have a feeling it will be just fine. What's the name of it?
Sweet Memory.
Sweet Memory. Did you write it about anything in particular?
No, I just got up one day and went to the playroom in my house I was like 14, and I was like, I'm going to write a song. So I just sat in there in the morning before everybody woke up.
How long did it take you?
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
45 minutes.
This is what you walked away with?
Yes.
Let's have it then.
It's still sounding, because I got a iffy string.
Yeah, sounds good.
Bittersweet moments between you and me. I'm thankful for the time we had to make memories, but I've tried to find happiness with someone new, but it's no use, because I can't find you in no
I can't believe you wrote that when you were 14 years old.
Oh yeah, that was one of the
How did you
first.
write that? I mean, how did you have the depth in your mind to pull from? Like, I mean, that sounds like it was written by somebody who's been through life and has been through.
I don't know. I don't know. I just love writing. I don't know. People ask me that all the time, and I'm like, I don't even know. That's why I was so nervous about the show, is because people go, well, what's the story behind it? And I'm like, well, I didn't live enough at the time to be able to tell you what the story was about it.
Well, you faked it pretty good. I mean, I love where you go from that G major to G minor.
Yes.
That's very Beatley.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. That's such a... But, yeah, that one just kind of came out of nowhere with that one.
It was great. I don't think I've ever heard you play that song before.
I played it one time for you, but that was like a couple of months ago. We were just...
Oh, I don't remember that far back. So, but what is your writing process? I mean, do you ever sit down and say, I'm going to write a song about this, or do you just sit down and see what comes out?
It depends. A lot of times, I just come up with like one line, and that's usually the name of the song. And then, like you've seen, I mean, my phone to jot down stuff. Yeah. But when I was younger, I had more time with it, and because I was homeschooled. So when I hit 12, I started homeschooling, so everybody knew that music was just as much as academics and stuff. And so I would just sit down and write, and at that time I was learning so many different chords, and so my brain works with, you're laughing already, I haven't told you, but my brain is like, when I hear words, I hear chords. So it's like
words. Yeah.
So I hear certain words, and it's words, and it's like, I just hear the chords, and then I start messing around with it, and then it kind of just puts the pieces together.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before. I've heard people say, and I when I hear a chord, I associate it with a color. Yeah, I think we've talked about that. Oh, yeah. But I've never heard anybody say they hear words and associate them with chords. That's really interesting.
And people, I've had the weirdest looks for that. Like, I've had band practices where, like, church band or whatever, and I would be like, play the sad chords or whatever. And I had this piano teacher, or the piano was playing, she played by ear. And I'm like, it's a minor. It's got to be sad. The words got to be sad. And she looks at me and she goes, what is she talking about? And so I'm like,
she was the teacher.
Well, she's still, but she's just like, people just, they don't, I don't know. I've always been that way. And so it's just, I would write this stuff down, and then it was like whatever emotion I got out of the word. And then sometimes it's actually just the sound of the word. And so then it was like, oh, this chord would work. Like with that song, you've got your regular C major, but then you just add that little, it's got a loneliness sound to it. It's not just as happy,
But that's not really a minor either.
No, but then it goes to the minor, and it's like, then it finishes it out.
Yeah.
But
Do you have a favorite chord? That's your E minor? That was F sharp minor, I guess.
Well, I've got it, with the
right.
standard,
So that is it, yeah.
So,
E minor. I would have thought you had some crazy complicated chord.
I mean, that one I like, but I mean, I like the chords like, but E minor, oh yeah. See how that jazzy chord? There's chords like that. But I love that change. Yeah, I could talk all day about that.
That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about music. We were on writing process, but I guess you've kind of explained it.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I was going to lead into the next part. Was going to say, where can people find your music? But I know it's not out there yet because we're currently working on it.
Yes, we're trying to get that out.
Well, you have some stuff that you've recorded. Some great songs that Laura's recorded in a studio.
Thank you.
And that are pretty much finished. And now she's brought them over here. We're putting a few tweaks on them.
Yeah, tweaking them.
And hopefully you will have some music or some original music.
Yes, that would be so nice.
Out on a streaming platform very soon. Hopefully by the end of the summer.
Yeah, definitely.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, hope to God that's the case. Because, you get where you want to write more, but you got to finish what you start.
Exactly. I know you don't want to get too much of a back catalog.
Yeah.
That's tough, though.
Yeah, because then
ideas are always coming.
Exactly, yeah. That's my phone is warped with that stuff.
Well, do you have a favorite original song that you've written?
Something
that you think is like one of the best examples, or that you're the most proud of?
Thoughts of You. And there's a little bit of a story with that song, which I'm going to tune up before I play that one.
Yeah.
But that one, as I've gotten older, some of the songs have been more like personal or whatever. When I was younger, it was just kind of, like I said, I listened to a lot of Alison Krauss, so their stuff was very mature. So I just was eat, sleep, breathing that. So that's what just came out. But as I got older, certain songs, stuff happens to you in life and stuff, and you start to live your songs in a way. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of happened. And like Thoughts of You, I wrote. I've never actually told that story about that song, but I had written it, and I wrote it in pairs. I wrote that one with Love's Got a Hold of Me. Those two.
That's my favorite.
That's the one you're helping me
I
with.
like this one too, though.
Yeah.
I love this one.
But it kind of talks about someone being like married to music in a way. And so the words, most people's jobs are like the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 6.
Well, I was gonna say, this is the one. I'm making sure I have it right in my head. The one of the first lines is 8 a.m. Put me on a plane back to you.
Yeah, that one. So yeah, it's kind of like it's always been a dream of mine to tour. So I was like, I got to get in that mindset, and I'll get a song out of that. So I was sitting there playing around with it, and so I was like, well, that's not a normal job. You're up during the night and you're dead during the day, and then so you understand that. And so that song, it was talking about, like different schedules. I'm on a plane, Monday morning blues puts me on a plane away from you. Line. And so it's like this woman or whatever is leaving, her boyfriend or husband or fiance, whichever, and it's like, I want to be doing, this is what I want to do in life, but at the same time.
Leave your fiance?
Oh, yeah. We've been engaged for years. But yeah, I mean, it's about that. It's leaving, and then they're having a regular job, and I'm here, and I want this because that's what I dreamed about and prayed about. But at the same time, you're leaving the one that you're in love with, and so that's where that one kind of came.
I'm glad you said that, because I've always heard you play this song. I've loved it. I love that line. Monday morning blues put me on a plane back. But I never knew what it was about.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that.
I don't really tell anybody about it. I just kind of.
Well, you were just saying you don't like people to ask you about your songs because you're like, well, there's no story. But this has a story.
One. I picked that one for that reason.
All right.
But I gotta get this thing. But yeah, that song. That's what that song's about.
I'll take a minute while Laura's tuning up to say that, again, I want to thank Sonny Fields, who produces the show. He's the one you see doing all the fancy cutting back and forth from cameras and putting the pictures of Laura up on the screen and adjusting the sound while we're talking. And I had the idea to do this show just because I like talking about music, and we got so many great local musicians around here, but it would not look this way if it weren't for Sonny. So I just want to thank Sonny. And are y'all tuned up and ready?
I think so.
I love this song.
Oh gosh, no pressure.
Well, that's the next one we're going to work on recording.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I can already hear how it needs to be.
Oh yeah, that one's gonna be
But
interesting.
The lyrics are so great.
Thank you. I love that song.
I can tell you wrote it with something in mind.
Oh yeah, that's one of the very few that that one was really on my heart when I wrote that one.
It shows. I think those songs you can tell those songs are different, or they have a little bit more.
Something.
Just they have more feeling to them, or maybe you play them differently. I mean, you as in like, anybody that writes a song that really means something close to them.
Oh yeah, you personalize it to a certain degree.
Yeah. Let's talk about. I don't know if you had time to. This is a hard one. Brian couldn't really do it. I don't even know if I could do it. But talking about influences, I mean, I know Alison Krauss is one of your biggest influences. What other bands do you listen to? What's in your CD player right now?
Oh, Lord.
What do you listen to while you're driving down the road?
Oh, gosh. Well, of course, Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
I can't sit there and not say that because if it ever gets to where she sees it or whatever.
Let's pause that question for a minute because we had an open mic night at the Wine Crate a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you had to calm me down.
And you were telling me right before
This is so bad.
I was up there hooking up all my equipment. We do a monthly open mic night at the Wine Crate here in Washington. If you've never been to it,
check it out.
It's the third Wednesday. We do it the third Wednesday of every month, and we hadn't been able to do it obviously for a while because of the COVID stuff. But we started back this past month, and we did it outside, and the musicians were kind of behind a little gate. Everybody was separated. It was nice that we could do it that way. And but I was setting my stuff up. Oh, gosh. And Laura came over to me like
couldn't breathe.
I thought you had broken your guitar or something. But,
no.
But what were you tell them what you were telling me.
Well, apparently, one woman came out there to the Wine Crate and she had seen me a couple of months ago before all of this went down. And apparently I didn't act too nice to her. I didn't know her, so my first response is like, and I hate that because I don't try to be that way.
I know.
But she was like, yeah, you gave me this look. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no. She said, well, I went down and she said, I can't remember what state it was, but it was like really down south. And she said, I went to go visit my cousin. And she said, well, all of a sudden, she said, my cousin ended up telling me that she does Alison Krauss's hair. Well, she told me that. That's when I started shaking. And David Edwards can attest to that. He can tell you because I was sitting there when I told him. And
just the fact that this woman you were talking to knows somebody that does Alison Krauss's hair.
Yeah,
that caused you to shake.
That was before.
This is how important Alison Krauss is to you.
So yeah, she was telling me, I'm like, dang. She said, I met her about 7 weeks ago. And I'm thinking, why couldn't you just pack me in your suitcase? I wouldn't have bothered you. Nothing. But she's like, well, she goes on and says, well, I showed her a video of you playing one of her songs. That was it for me.
That's why you were losing your mind.
Yeah, I don't remember much.
I know.
I couldn't put words together.
It was like 20 minutes. I was all set up. Sonny and I had played the first song, and you were still like,
I was out.
Alison Krauss has seen a video of me playing.
I was so out of it with that. And then, I mean, because you just hear that, and it's like, but then the other side of you's like, what video did your idol just see?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what it was?
No. And I'm like, oh, man.
You didn't ask her?
No, I couldn't.
What, was it something on your Facebook page?
I have no idea. I couldn't put words together. I couldn't. And so, but yeah, that's what happened.
So what do you think would happen what if Alison Krauss walked in right now?
I'd
What if I said,
out.
ladies and gentlemen, we have a special surprise for you this evening?
My adrenaline would get me through it, but then afterwards I'd pass out. That would be it. That would be.
What would be your first question?
Well, gosh. Well, I don't even.
Would you be able to speak? I don't know if you would.
No.
You couldn't speak when you heard that somebody that you had talked to knew somebody that did her hair.
Yeah.
You couldn't speak.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like when I saw her, I saw her for the first time, and all I remember was time before that and time after I saw them. And that trip up there, it killed me. We got there, and I mean, I remember her coming in. I remember seeing her backstage, and that was when I lost it. That was it for me. I checked out at that point, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, this is not happening. And I thought the whole darn time I was going to pass out. I really thought that was going to happen. So my sister, she's got the bright idea. She comes up and she's like, Miss Allison. I'm like, shut up. I'm going to die. And she's like, well, I'll go get her. And I'm like, you can't snatch her off the stage. I said, then we're not going to be able to see the show. Because Sarah, you know, she's disabled or whatever. And so she, if you want it, that's what I'm saying. If you ever go see Paul McCartney, invite her to come. You go meet him. She'll kill or kidnap him for you. But yeah, but that first time, man, just watching them. And then the thing that got me was the songs, because those were songs that I had learned. And they don't have a lot of videos of their stuff.
You were getting to watch what they were playing.
Yeah, I was checking myself. I was like, oh, yeah, I got that. That's the right chord. And so it was so much fun because I had never been to a show like that before, ever, because it just never really been interested in it. That was always them. And that show I was 12. And so at that time, that was a really big transition year for me because I had gotten out of school. I was in school, you know, just regular school, and it wasn't allowing me to do music like I wanted to. And so I had to make that decision. Well, the day that I went to Nashville for the first time was the day school started back at my school. And so when I got there to that show, it was like, because I thought maybe, my parents were like, well, she'll get it out of her system. You know, that did not work. It was the opposite direct. But I just remember looking up and seeing them, and it was just like, you can't get it in your brain that you're watching them. And then I was watching the chords and everything, and I was like, check. Because I had a checklist. I would check their song after I learned
You're
it.
like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. So, but yeah, it was an incredible experience.
Okay, well, so we've covered concert experience. We got off track, though, about your other favorite bands.
Oh, gosh.
Aside from Alison Krauss.
Yes, Prince.
Prince. Yeah, I know Prince is a big one for you.
And the reason I like his music is he's very out of the box. And he blurs like the genres. Like, he does it so well. Like, that song, Love's Got a Hold of Me. That song, when I first recorded it, it didn't sound like that at all. It was just acoustic. Mm-hmm. And so you definitely got the transition of my ear in that song.
It's funny that you say that. Now that you say that, I can hear in that song that it's got that Prince influence.
Yeah, and so like at first, it was just the chords or whatever, and it was, I had it very simple, but then I started listening to Prince, and I was like, well, maybe I ought to go out of the box with stuff. And I started experimenting with different things, different instruments. But I'd already been playing piano. I started playing piano before I did guitar. I started playing piano at 8, or actually 7. And so I had played some, but I just won't like guitar. But with Prince, he had just a way of taking, like I said, these songs, and it you couldn't tell where they went. Mm-hmm. There was no line there with his creativity. It was like, we're just going to make it work. And so, like, the claps in that song, and then the riffs, and the off sound, and like, the little zills, little things that I bought for that. That
my
was
favorite part.
Ching! Yeah. And so, it had that in there, and I remember coming home and driving back and listening to one of his songs, and I'm like, that would fit in that area, because there was a hole there, that, like it was a poem, like a silence, and I'm like, something needs to go there. So I started researching or whatever, and I was listening, and I was like, oh, I got it. And so I brought all these ideas to the studio, and I'm looked at like, that's not going to work. And I'm like, we'll say that after we try it. And so we tried it, and it was like, well, it fits, right? So, yeah, it kind of, it made me have to go out and learn different things, learn different chord variations, too. But, yeah, he's a big influence. Heart.
Heart. I've never heard you mention Heart before.
Yeah, and so I had...
Give a shout out to Nanette Garrett right now.
Oh, yeah, she's their biggest fan. Everybody thinks I'm bad. She's another level. She's gonna kill me for saying that, but
no, everybody's got their. I'm another level with the Beatles and stuff like that. Nanette's got Heart. You've got Alison Krauss.
But I got one of her CDs because my parents, they have always been like, listen to everything. Don't judge any book by. Don't do that. You listen to it first and then make up your mind. And so they would get these songs. And they would be like, listen to it, see if you can pick it out. Learn them. So they would get me CDs and stuff. And one Christmas, I can't remember what age I was, though, but I was probably around 16, 17, 18. And they got me a Heart, the Essential Heart CD. And it just, I had electric guitar. I had started playing electric guitar at 12. I didn't like it. And
really?
No, I didn't. I was all Union Station. I didn't want to know songs, so it didn't do anything for me. And so, but I played off and on electric guitar. And so it really, when I listened to it, we had a room down in the basement that we had that where you could cut the amps on, like you in your living room, you can monitor the sound. So I'd go down there, and I had my daddy's old electric guitar, who was older than me. I mean, like like a good amount of years. So I got it and tuned it up and went down there. That is when I was learning the different tunings, because I'd listen to it and I'm like, the certain chord variations, and I'm like, it's okay, but it's not correct, and I want to learn it as close to correct as possible, because that's somebody's music. They took those time to do that. You don't want to mess it up.
Plus, your ear is so precise that it would drive you crazy if you didn't learn it that way.
It does. Many sleepless nights with that. But yeah, Heart, definitely. And it was like when Nancy Wilson, she's a huge influence. Her picking and then paving the way for females playing, because, I mean, a lot of people don't play the lead that are females and stuff, and she just goes right in.
Yeah, she plays electric guitar, like ripping it.
And so, like, Crazy on You, that intro with that song, that I heard that, and my parents like, you've got to learn that. And I was like, got it. And so I went to taking it.
Play the intro for us.
Oh God, no! I had to practice. It's put me on the spot.
You know you can do it.
It's like, something like that.
It sounds like
shaky.
Something out of a Western almost.
Yeah, and then it just cranks up. But that was not all the way correct. But that was for not practicing.
Close enough. Well, you were just talking about. Do you have any other influences that you wanted to name before we move on?
Stevie Ray Vaughan, but I don't have much about him. But the way he plays,
of course,
and his was the tuning too. So yeah, that definitely, like Pipeline. My parents bought me the slide and everything and stuff with that. So that song. I stayed in the basement for a long time with those CDs. They come down, it's like time to eat.
But it's paid off. That's what it takes. You have to stay. You hear these people. You talk to these people that made it big.
Yeah,
and they all have the same story or close to it.
You have to stay at it.
They stayed in their bedroom while all their friends were out playing, or they were locked in their basement for hours.
Yeah, because it's, and then when people didn't mean so much to you, you don't really get lonely with it. It's just like that's what it is, and then. But yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan, his stuff. I mean, that way, just the way he plays his chords. I pull from a lot of different people, and so that's kind of my sound.
Well, you were talking a second ago when you were talking about how Prince was a big influence.
Oh yeah.
About your song "Love's Got a Hold on Me," and I think you had mentioned that you were going to play that tonight.
Yeah.
And this is the song that Laura and I are working on tweaking.
Yeah.
And hopefully will be available soon, within the next month or two.
Yeah.
If everything goes according to plan.
Yeah, if we get that draw.
She's going to do an acoustic version of it, but the actual production that we're working on really doesn't sound anything like this.
No, it doesn't.
It's got cellos and violins and
yeah.
zills. Is that what you call them?
Zills. And the electric guitar.
Yeah, it's got some great stuff going on. But this is the song, when I first heard you out playing your originals, when I heard this song, I was like, dang.
I remember your expression.
That's a good song.
Yeah, I got a lot of people ask me about that song.
Well, I think that's the perfect one to go into. Going from your influences and Prince into Love's Got a Hold on.
In this world of confusion, I
love that song. Excellent. Well, this is usually the part of the show where I see if you've got any upcoming shows to promote, but I don't know if you do right now, do you?
The only show I can think of would be with Four of a Kind this weekend.
Oh, you got one this weekend?
Bellhaven for the 4th.
Oh, 4th of July thing.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we're filming this. When this airs, that will be over.
Oh, yeah. Well, I really don't know of any other dates because everything's
Yeah.
kind of in limbo.
I know, it's weird right now.
Yeah, because some places will let you in, some places won't.
I know. The only thing we've got right now is private parties, really.
Yeah.
What tell me, I'm always interested in what other hobbies you have besides music. If you're not playing the guitar, if you have a free day, what's Laura Davis doing?
Oh dear Lord, probably worrying people to do.
That's not a hobby. Worrying is not a hobby.
Probably. Well, I really don't know anything outside. I used to draw. I draw every now
Oh,
and then.
really? See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't.
What do
that.
you draw?
Anything. I used to draw a lot.
By the way, this might
I
be,
knew that
this
was-
might be
I knew that was going. You went to reach
this
for
might be a
that.
good time to mention. I want to thank my Aunt Mary for sending me this lovely Bob Ross coffee mug that, when filled with coffee that's hot, all of a sudden a painting appears behind Bob here. Sorry.
You
Do
did
you-
that on Instagram. I remember
But
that.
yeah, but do you draw? Do you do like landscape stuff, or do you draw people? Or
Well, I don't. When
guitar?
you compare it to
probably,
him,
you
I
probably
don't
draw guitars, don't you?
Well, I used to do a lot of floral stuff. Like, I used to draw a lot more than I did music. In fact, everybody's like, why did you quit with the art? And I'm like, why would I keep on doing it? But
I would love to see some stuff that you draw. I wish we could. I wish we had Sonny. Why don't why don't we have some of Laura's artwork to put up on the screen here?
well, I guess other than that, it's definitely finding the music. I'm always listening to music. So that's why I love when people send me songs, because I can go and dive into another thing. So it just constantly, really, there really isn't much I do that's outside of music. If I ain't playing the guitar, I'm playing the ukulele.
Well, we've talked about this before, but you told me that you have trouble sleeping at night sometimes because you just can't turn the music off in your head.
Mm-mm.
I think that's fascinating. I always have music in my head, and I have a bad habit of I'm always clicking my teeth, like playing the drums, like and everybody's always asking me, "Are you cold?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm just kicking a beat with my teeth."
You told me that at Nanette's son, her son-in-law's birthday. I remember you telling me, he said, I'm not cold. I just get in a habit of doing that. I remember you saying.
It's a bad habit. I know people look at me and they either think I'm on drugs or I'm freezing cold because but I really just always have a song in my head, but not to the point where it keeps me from sleeping at night.
Yeah,
that's crazy that you have the music so much in your head that you can't go to sleep.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm constantly writing. It's just I didn't realize how messed up I was until the other day when I started going through the songs that were older, and then I've got this binder that sits in my room that's like the office binder, when you open it up and it's got the files. I got 2 of them, and they're of nothing but composition notebooks and notebooks that were front and back songs
that you've written.
Yeah,
and you have that much stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to write. I used to get up in the mornings. In the morning, this is so weird. Well, I guess this would be a hobby with music. I used to get up before everybody else did, and first thing I did in the morning was go to the living room and cut the TV on and listen to an hour of country and digest that.
What do you mean cut the TV on?
Like the CMT, GAC.
Oh, so you like music videos?
Yeah. And then I would go into, I would switch to MTV where it would be like the rock and the pop. And
that must have been years and years ago.
Yeah.
If MTV was playing music.
Yeah, really. I would do that. But no, just searching for music. But yeah, writing. I've got a lot of different songs. But you probably can understand that you write stuff feeling one way and then the chords might not work and they work better for another idea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, looking for music, that's usually, if I'm not playing music, I'm searching for music or watching engineering tapes. I love stuff like that, the way that the sound works and how stuff works. So yeah, I'm pretty boring.
That's not boring at all.
It's
If that's what you enjoy, there's nothing boring about it.
Yeah, but I tend to be like a killjoy when it comes to that.
Well, you were talking about Prince earlier, and there you play a great instrumental song.
Yeah, he's.
Do you feel up for that?
Yeah, I guess.
I saw you play this song at the Turnage Theater.
Yeah,
Was it the folk music? What was it? The
Oh man, it was just a guitar fest.
Oh, Guitar Fest. That's right. Yeah, at the Turnage Theater here in Washington. You did the best set out of anybody, I think. I mean, the choice of material. I mean, I've seen you play live a lot, and like we all do, you play a lot of the same songs.
Yeah.
But that thing you did at the Turnage, you played stuff that I had never heard you play before, and this was one of the songs that you played.
That was to get out of talking.
Yeah. But that was also the time I heard you talk the most at one of your shows.
Well, I got eased. I was eased. Like the very first song there. Oh my God, I was so nervous because they were sitting right there.
Yeah, that was
But no, I just once I get past those first two songs, I kind of calm down. But those first two songs are torture.
Well, I thought this instrumental was beautiful. It's called Snow in April. Or
Sometimes it snows in April.
Sometimes it snows in April. And did Prince write it?
Yeah, he wrote it. I would definitely check out the lyrics. I can't sing it and do that song justice, but it's.
I like that it's an instrumental.
Song. Hopefully it'll sound like it.
Go for it. It's that ending chord. That's what got me when you played it at the Turnage Theater. You ended it on that. I was like, what?
Yeah, that one, he actually did that, not in the recording. He didn't do that. But he actually did it on a live performance, which was MTV Unplugged.
Prince did it unplugged?
Yeah, I was really shocked.
Wow, I hadn't seen that.
He did that song, and he ended on that. I said, I got to count the frets. So I paused that thing, and I was like, okay. But you don't know the sigh of relief that I had when I hit that chord, because that was the end of my set completely. That was the last chord. And I'm like, if I screw that last chord up, I'm not going to. And I nailed it, and I just remember going, I can breathe. And then it was over, and then it was like you want to cry because it's over at that point. But yeah.
Well, that was appropriate then, because we're very near the end here. Thank you so much for coming and doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I know that you don't really like to chat that much
No.
On camera in front of people. Thank you for playing, for telling the stories behind the songs, for letting everybody that's seen you around here in Washington get to know a little bit more about Laura Davis, and for letting all my friends and family who hopefully are watching this, see you for the first time. I'm so glad that we got to do this. And
I enjoyed it.
I mean, I had fun with Brian doing it, and I've had fun with you doing it, and I'm just happy that we're doing it and that we're going to keep doing it. I think William Seymour is going to be on our next one in August because he's got a new album coming out in August called Make Love Instead. That I saw he posted today.
He was on with all of it.
He got all the CDs in. He was laying in a big stack of CDs, and William is amazing. I mean, he's a solo guy, has his own songs, and that's a CD coming out. But he also plays with the broadcast band, and just has some really great stuff.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
know
they've
that.
toured Europe. And
I knew, but I just didn't know he was in a band.
Yeah,
He's
so
good.
tune in for that episode, and we're going to put Laura Davis's social media information up here real quick. If you want to follow her on Instagram or Facebook to see when she's going to be releasing some music on a streaming platform soon, hopefully, that you can check out. And also where all her shows will be. But you play solo stuff also, but you play with somebody else. You play with Ann.
With Ann, we play with our band name is Tanglewood, and then I play with Nanette Garrett, and then I play with Four of a Kind.
So you playing with 3-4 different people.
Yeah.
I think we got social media info up there, don't we? Yeah, on the one on the
yeah.
wide shot. Yeah, there we go. Instagram is easy. Instagram and Facebook is both Laura Davis Music. Easy to
Simple
remember.
enough.
We always like to finish it up here. I say always because we've done one show before this. So, this is our ritual now. But we like to finish it up by doing a song together, which Laura and I have done. We did a Boko music live together. Yeah. But we always play stuff together. Open mic nights, or when I have a show, you usually come up and play something. So we had a few things to choose from, but this is one of our favorite ones right now. I think we have to mention that lately you've also been turned on. You have a new influence lately that has really opened your eyes.
Oh yes, he's so proud of that.
I'm very proud of it.
With it. Oh, no.
We're always sending each other songs, interesting things like listen to this, listen to the snap in the background. We're always looking.
Or what is this odd sound in this?
Yeah,
thing?
What's this weird sound at 2 minutes? We're always looking for like interesting things. But I started sending you some. Well, I think we started off on the Beatles.
Yeah.
And then I sent you a Paul McCartney song one night or something.
Yeah.
And then you kind of went off and started looking through Paul's catalog and found some songs that you were like,
yeah. And then I was like, I had to text him, and I'm like, I couldn't get the excitement through the phone. I was like, but yeah.
So now you've been turned on to the ways of Paul McCartney.
Yes.
And you found the song. This isn't even a song that I sent you. You found this song on your own, and you texted me and were like, "Have you heard this song?" I was like, "Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard all the."
That's what I found out that you've heard just about every.
Yeah, I've heard all the Paul McCartney songs, but yes, I could have guessed when you heard this song that you would flip out over it, just because it's in a different tuning. It's got interesting chords, and it's a song off of a album he put out in the mid-2000s called Chaos and Creation in the Backyard, which was kind of a back to basics album. The first album Paul put out after the Beatles broke up was called McCartney, and it was really back to basics. He recorded it at his house. He played all the instruments. Him and his wife sang all the harmonies, and he did that again in the 80s with McCartney 2, where he played all the instruments. And then he kind of did that again. I always thought that this Chaos and Creation album that this song is off of, he could have called that McCartney 3, because that was the first album in a while that he played all the instruments again, and it's really stripped down. Most of the songs, he didn't even put reverb on his vocal.
It's very dry,
It's really dry, and it's a great album. But this is a song called Jenny Wren off of that album that he wrote as a kind of a companion piece to Blackbird, which was a song on the Beatles' White Album in '68. Very similar chord structure. That he has said in interviews he tried to write a song like Blackbird again.
Yeah, it's got those.
And that's where this song Jenny Wren came from. And I can't play it because it's so crazy. So this is a song we like to do together where I just get to sit back and sing, and Laura plays. And We'll come back real quick after this song, but this is pretty much going to finish us up for the night. Thanks so much for tuning in to Washington City Limits. And we'll be back next month with William Seymour. And we're going to finish it up with a Paul McCartney song here called Jenny Wren. All right, let me make sure my rapper microphone is on.
Like so many girls, Jenny Wren could sing, but a broken heart took her song away. Like the other girls, Jenny Wren took wing. She could see the world and its foolish ways. How we spend our days casting love aside, losing sight of life day by day. She saw poverty breaking up a home. Wounded warriors took her song away. But the day will come, Jenny Wren will sing, when this broken world mends its foolish ways. Then we'll spend our days catching up on life, all because of you, Jenny Wren. You saw who we are, Jenny Wren.
Did we get it? I think we got it. Oh, I love getting to sing that. I would never get to sing that song if you didn't play it.
Well, I would have never found it had you not turned me on to Paul
Oh,
McCartney.
well, there you go. We can thank each other. Thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Sonny Fields, for producing. I would like to also I forgot to thank last week, Marla, Sonny's wife, Marla, who contributed the lovely lava lamp over here. If we could cut to a shot of the lava lamp. Appreciate it so much, Marla. It adds such an ambiance to the shot when Laura, whoever's performing, to have that lava lamp back there. And we got to finish up with one last thing here.
Oh, gosh.
The Washington City Limits tip jar.
This is the one I was worried about.
You don't put anything in, you get to pull something out of it.
I know.
It could be something funny. It could be
That's-
something really serious. It could be something scary. I think Brian got a funny one. We'll see what Laura Davis.
Watch me get the worst
We'll
one.
see what Laura Davis pulls out.
Oh, well, see, I can't even pull one out. I can't do that right. Oh, no. Oh, it is the same one. Oh, dear. What,
Oh dear.
what goal do you think humanity is not focused enough on achieving?
Oh,
I
you
can't
got a really
stand
serious one.
What?
What goal do you think humanity is not focused enough on achieving? You got the most serious one
I knew
in,
that
in
was
the
gonna
whole pot.
happen.
Do you want to pull another one?
Sure. So I would
That
have
was
get
the
in trouble.
one, that was the one I was hoping Brian would get because he would have given like a great answer.
What
on
was
that.
his that he got? Because that's one part I don't remember.
What's the strangest thing you've ever seen in someone's house?
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get that one either.
All right. Well, we have a tip jar here at Washington City Limits.
A goldfish thing. What goldfish did you kill?
I used to have a goldfish in there. My ex-girlfriend and I had a goldfish named
Oh, my Lord.
named Mo, and he didn't last a week, I think.
Don't feel bad. We killed all ours too by accident. They went down the sink. Oh Lord. Could you make up a song on the spot right now?
That's the one I was hoping you would get.
I'll do the music if you do the lyrics.
Okay, let's do that. What's our subject?
What's our mood?
What's the song gonna be about?
I don't know. You pick the mood.
We're gonna make up a song on the spot. God.
If you
Sonny, give us a topic.
Muddy Water.
Muddy Waters, the singer,
No, Muddy Water. Muddy Water.
Muddy Water?
Yeah.
Oh dear. You want it a happy muddy water or a sad?
I think it
muddy
needs to be something bluesy, probably.
water? Okay.
Well, I went down to the banks of the creek, only to find that they stink. I was looking down at the water, I thought, my, that stink has got to be coming from the muddy water. So I went to the house, poured a drink, thought this would surely help with the stink of my mind. We sure got some stink in this muddy water. I wish I could think of more to say about the stink. Give me a solo. Woo, yeah! I looked down at the creek and I saw a fish. I thought, ooh, I'd like to have that in my dish. But that's coming from all the muddy water. Maybe I should mix a drink and start calling it muddy water. Bartender, pour me some muddy water. I said, bartender, pour me some muddy water. Woo, na 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 na. I said, well, come on, pour me some muddy water. Yeah.
We lost.
I think that was perfect.
That was-
Thank you, Sonny, for that recommendation. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Laura Davis, ladies and gentlemen. We'll put her social media info up one last time real quick. If you want to follow Laura on Facebook or Instagram to see where she's playing next and when her original music is coming out, we'll probably be releasing Muddy Water soon as a single.
Steve Ray Vaughan would kill me if I just stole a song for that song. I didn't realize that halfway.
My name's Chuck Phillips. Join us next month for William Seymour. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.